Hello everyone, my name is Dylan Ring, and in today's video I will be reviewing the Neca Shin Godzilla. I got this figure from Big Bad Toy Store, and it's really cheap on there, plus $4 any ship. Really nice service, so I'd highly recommend getting this figure and more from Big Bad Toy Store. I don't have many figures from this line. In fact, I own the Neca Godzilla 1985 and the Godzilla 2014. Both these figures scale well, although Shin Godzilla actually should be more towards approximately about that height. But still very good, and he definitely fits in with your other collectibles. So anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at Shin Godzilla himself. Sliding over to detail, this figure is amazing. Not only does he have a lot of great paint work that goes on in between the cracks, he's also very well sculpted and overall just textured. Personally, my favorite part is probably the spikes, just because they look so much like they did in the movie, and I just really like the design they used for the movie, so that's an A+. Let's start off with the head. As we can see, very nicely detailed. It's totally recognizable as Godzilla. Even the cracks inside of his head carried that red detail. It's more matte than the others. His eyes are very small. He has a little pupil eyeball, which is honestly more scary than big eyeballs. If I can get the light to focus on him better. Here, I'm going to bring the light a little bit closer so you can see his eye. His teeth also look very good, and they come out pretty far length down, and you can actually touch them and poke yourself, although I would be kind of cautious if you are going to break it. Next, he has his gums in there, which is all shiny and everything, and you can actually see some detail on the gum part itself of the little lines where all the muscles make up. He's got his lower jaw, which has no tongue, just that weird looking hole section in the middle. Kind of strange. And then all of his teeth are very jagged and yellow, and they look very natural, and they look Shin Godzilla-esque. Very nicely done. Moving down, his neck is very shiny as well. He's got his gills right here with more of that red detailing, as well as all of his muscle sections, all very nicely detailed. And then he's got the 3 spikes. One thing I wish they would have done is just not added the top spike. It may look weird, but it was much more accurate to the film. If you remember, he doesn't have a top spike, and just the head placement is really odd, but it's still nice and it's still recognizable. I couldn't see them really doing it any other way, though, so it's still really good. Moving down to his chest area of sorts, he's got his almost rib cage with the more rib cage-esque look right here, and he's got all the red dots in there. He's got his crest bone, which has the really spiky bit at the top, and if you pull on it, it's very sharp, so don't poke yourself on it. He's got his huge, massive muscles coming around here with more of that great red detail, just beautifully captured. And even on this, it totally looks like Shin Godzilla. And then he's got just this lower spike. I'm still counting this. I'm not going to cover the spikes just yet, but they do come out, and they kind of are the beginning, and they all have that red detail on there. And even on the kind of part where it stretches out from the crest bone to his neck, you can see some of that nice, weird section with all that red, nice detailing coming here. Looks very good. And then he's got his tiny Shin Godzilla arms, which are very small. Again, carrying that same detailing look. He's got his 4 fingers, which look like Shin Godzilla, and you can pose them down. And they look very nice. Got more wrinkles on there with the more red. Moving down, he's got all these just gruesome details, and all that red paint is perfectly captured in here. It looks very incredible. He's got these 2 bones sticking out on either side, which are actually quite sharp, and don't poke yourself again. He's got more red, just looking amazing. And he's got all that wrinkle detail coming down. His legs look very nice, and all that wrinkled, just muscle look. It's really gross and weird, but it's still beautifully captured. And he's got more scales coming down right here, and more of that red look. And this is basically the only part where he doesn't have fat, like overloafing, just evolving skin, basically. Moving down, he's got his knees, which have that very nice detail of the more scales. His lower shins, but, you know, they've even got that detail, and even more of that red paint is visible. His feet, while these are good, they are missing the tiny little toe claws which were on the suit, and that's more so just an evolving rate that this figure had. But the claws are painted rather nicely, and I really do like how they just look like they do in the actual movie. They're very good. His tail is also very nicely done. He's got more of that red detailing, overlapping panels, and it comes up very long all the way up to his gruesome tip, and it looks very nice. It has all that nice weird scaly parts, and then he's got these weird peach things, whatever. I don't know why they added those, but it's still okay. No face on the tail, though, unfortunately, so he cannot blow out of it yet, quite yet, at least. So, overall, for the main detail on the bottom, and the top, and the middle, and just overall his body, it's very, very nicely done. I really like it. So let's look at his spikes, my favorite part. While they went a little bit overkill on the orange paint in here, it's still very nice, and you can see the red, and all of his spikes are made of really rubbery plastic, and they will not hurt you if you jab yourself, but they're very nicely detailed, and they look just like it, almost that weird sketched in detail and the imperfect shapes, which look just so cool. I don't know what it is about these just look and make up what Godzilla is. If you didn't have the spikes, it wouldn't be Godzilla. Or if it would be a dorsal-plated, spikeless monster thing. Moving down on the tail, you can see more of that amazing detail coming up. Even that weird crested, like, spine section coming down to the bottom, and it ultimately leads to the end of the tail right here. But still, amazing detail, and I really like it. Even the red paint is still visible in there. So overall, for detail, gotta say, another A+. This is really magnificent. And the paint apps, well, it looks a lot better than the SH Monster Arts. So let's talk articulation. So he can move his head down that way, up that way. It can look left, it can look right, it can spin all the way around. His jaw can open up very far, and it looks, again, really good. Love that. And his teeth even kind of click into place and look awesome. His neck can swivel, it's on a ball joint, and it can spin all the way around, although it's rather quite stiff. His waist can ball joint left and right. It can also swivel, but I would be careful. You don't want to rub the spikes off, and it might kind of damage. His leg can kick all the way around, but actually, no, it can only go so far. It's not superposable. On the inside, you can actually bend out this joint. It's kind of hard. You can see more of that detail of the red paint even in there. Very nice. His knees can actually bend and go forward like that, kick back. Very nicely done. And then his feet can swivel all the way around, go up and down, left and right, pivot, all that good stuff. Finally, his tail. It has a ball joint right here, a ball joint right here, ball joint right here, ball joint right here, and finally another ball joint. And supposedly there's a bendy wire, but I haven't got it to be able to move or stay in place yet. So that's a bit weird. So in terms of articulation, again, this is very good. So first off, we get, of course, this background. I'm going to move Shin away. And it's the Bandai Creation, 1954 designed. It's what they're using. It looks good. A little really modern too. I really like it. It's kind of that dark to white, and you get this cool stripe, and the Godzilla logo, of course, looks really cool. On the back, we get another picture of Shin Godzilla, which is very cool. And then we get Godzilla, Warner Brothers, Neca, and the little trademark symbol. Next, we get Shin Godzilla with the Godzilla logo, more buildings and destruction, ages 14 and up. Hey, I can use this. A warning, Godzilla, some more copyright stuff, and then the barcode. And then what I got is a Big Bad Toy Store credit thing, because I bought this figure from Big Bad Toy Store. We get, of course, its logo. We get a lot of Star Wars figures from the Black Series, more, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1/4 NECA, social media stuff, Transformers, Batman, Game of Thrones, Dragon Ball Z, and Street Fighter. Big Bad Toy Store. Very cool. So I'm really happy. So my final verdict, should you buy this figure? I'd go for a confident yes. Yes, you should. It's ultimately very well detailed, and it looks fantastic. The paint apps are very good and will not rub off. Well, it is kind of hard to assemble. The joints get loose after a while, and you don't want to play with it too much as to avoid that. And I would just recommend keeping this on display, because overall, you're really here for the detail and just to get a Shin Godzilla figure. Its spikes look amazing, the paint apps, everything is here, and it looks awesome. So, it gets a B+. There were a few things that kind of bugged me, but I still liked the figure overall. Probably about an 8 to an 8.5 out of 10. It's a really good figure, but, you know, every figure has its flaws, and this figure isn't without them. So thank you for watching this review. Hope you guys liked it and enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like, and maybe consider subscribing. This has been Dylan Ring Productions, signing out.